This week on Buyer's Guide, we recommend the ideal compact SUV for a retiree.
Would a used Audi TT be a good replacement for a Toyota RAV4?
And we look at maintenance tips for an older Honda Accord.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Buyer's Guide. This week we'll be tackling a fresh batch of vehicle-related questions and queries. If you have a question for the team, you can send it to buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za. And please include as much information as possible, as well as a clear photograph of yourself.
Joining us in studio this week are Buyer's Guide stalwarts, Thomas Falconer from Times Live Motoring and Obi Mokaditwa from Eagle Ford and Mazda. Welcome back, guys. Regular place here for you guys now. There's like 2 seats here.
It's been a while though, you know?
Yeah, like a month.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
like a
concerned
month.
I might have said something or, given somebody bad advice.
No,
That's what we, that's
But
exactly
never,
it.
I thought never.
Okay, Jeff, let's kick off with a question from Carmen, who's a 65-year-old retiree who's keen to buy her last vehicle. She lives between Gauteng and the Western Cape, so she needs peace of mind when traveling. She has a budget of 320,000 Rand, and she's shortlisted for compact SUVs: Hyundai Venue, Suzuki Vitara Brezza, Toyota Urban Cruiser, and the Chery Tiggo 4. She would like to know if it's better to buy new, or could she look at a demo used model, which would be advisable to go for an automatic option, and which one would be the most economical to run in the long term. So, small, medium, SUV, automatic. It's giving us a couple of options. Thomas, let's start with you.
Well, look, I mean, of the 4 cars that she's given us, I would probably go for either the Suzuki or the Toyota, just because they're sort of simple, reliable cars. You're going to get good resale value, I think, particularly on the Toyota. And because she does a lot of long-distance trips, Toyota dealer network is kind of good for peace of mind. Because there are many on the way down.
Every tree there's a Toyota dealer.
Exactly. So considering what she needs and how much she travels, that might be the pick of the bunch. Demo or, I think you'll probably get a good deal on a demo. That would be my advice. And maybe go for the manual.
Yeah, well, would she advise automatic? I would, if you're a retiree, 65, you don't want to be changing gears really. Go for an automatic.
Can do that as well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's got 4 good cars there.
Yeah.
I think the best thing, Obi, what would you suggest here?
So I'd specifically looked at the Chery Tiggo 4 Pro purely because they offer a 10-year million-kilometer warranty, whichever one occurs first, obviously. So it's a last car, and remember that warranty only is given to the owner, the first owner of the vehicle. So just purely for putting them to the test with their warranty.
Yeah.
To make sure that, they cover the vehicle for the 10 years or 1 million kilometers. Like
Do you
you
have
said,
anything in your stable, Obi, for that you could throw in there at 320?
at 320 it will be the EcoSport Titanium that I would advise in basically that
In
as a
automatic.
5th option. An automatic, a 1 liter titanium automatic. So that's what I would advise in my stable. But Chery Tiggo and obviously the titanium EcoSport.
I think all of them are good
They are.
vehicles in their sort of segment. I think the Chery will offer you more bang for your buck in terms of the features that you're going to get with it. But in terms of peace of mind, obviously motoring, the Chery hasn't really proved itself. It's been out for a year now. So far it seems to be very good. But if you're doing lots of long trips, I agree with Thomas. If you're driving Gauteng to Cape Town or driving around those things, if you're looking at
It
dealership backup, the Toyota Urban Cruiser, which is basically the Suzuki. The Suzuki, it's the same vehicle, just different badging.
Yeah.
They're good cars as well. The Hyundai Venue as well also comes with a really good warranty. The Hyundai Venue and the Chery both have turbocharged engines, so you will get a little more vuma than you will out of the other 2, which are non-turbocharged. So the best thing here, like we often say, go and drive them all, see which gives you the best bang for buck, and then just make a decision on that. Do you want all the nice features
It's
that come with
important the fact that you mentioned the dealer footprint. Because if she's stuck anywhere in between, we're not saying a new car's going to get stuck, but for whatever reason, if she has to have a breakdown or something like that, you'd find that, you throw a dart and you'll hit a Toyota dealer.
Exactly, yeah.
And Obi, how's the Ford footprint? Is as good?
Also, it's just as good. I mean, the Ford's also been around as long as what Toyota has been, if not longer. But yeah, the footprint's there. But I also still want to highlight on the newbies that we also got to give them a chance and let them be in the same stable that all the other brands are. Again, they're confident, they've got a big warranty. Give them a chance.
Yeah.
Right, we turn our attention now to double cab buckies. Richard has a maximum budget of 500,000 Rand and he was thinking of buying either a BMW X5 or a Porsche Cayenne. But with second-hand car values remaining at record levels, he's decided rather to opt for a double cab buckie. His top priorities are off-road capability, luxury and reliability. He's narrowed down his list to the following alternatives: the Nissan Navara, Mazda BT50, Isuzu D-Max or the KB, and the Mitsubishi Triton. Thomas, what those are some good options there. Funny you never mentioned Ranger or Hilux.
Yeah, it is, but I'm going to go in from left field. I'm going to suggest looking at a Fiat Fullback, which is basically
the Triton.
Yeah, and it's got a Fiat badge on, which, in terms of hijacking and desirability from that kind of point of view, I think it's probably one of the safest buys you can get on the double cab market. And you'll get one for under 500,000 Rand.
Yeah.
And that's like a 2021 model. So you're getting quite a new low mileage.
Don't worry about the badge because it's only a badge. I mean,
Correct.
the Fiat badge may fall off, but the rest of the
Of course.
Mitsubishi Triton behind it will keep going.
Will keep on
and
going.
going.
Yeah.
Or you could change that grille anytime you wanted, hey?
Yeah, man, just go to a scrapyard.
Yeah, buy that grille in the tailgate and you got yourself a Triton.
Yeah.
But I mean, 500,000 Rand Mazda BT50, you could get a good one.
You can get the new generation, but obviously with higher mileage, with around about probably the 70,000, 80,000 K mark. But generally, you're going to get the previous generation BT50. They're also quite strong, good cars. What's good about Richard is that all the cars that he's listed are all good cars.
Yeah.
There isn't one there that's not up to par. But out of the lot, I would say the Mazda BT50 or the Isuzu D-Max. I think that's value for money there.
One other bucket I'd like to throw in here that he hasn't mentioned is the GWM, the P series. Because 500,000 Rand, you basically get yourself a
big bucket.
Yeah, a brand new one. It'll be a 4x4. It's very capable. They are superb inside. The interiors are very, very good. They're very good value for money. Not the most powerful compared to all the others, but a great option because you can then get a brand new one. It'll come with leather seats and all the bells and whistles and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and stuff like that, connectivity on the phone if you want. You'll get a good 4x4. And I think it's actually quite an underrated bucky. I've got a couple of friends who got them and they've had them for since when they first launched, 2 years now?
Yeah.
I've had no issues with them. So in terms of reliability, it's well worth a look at. On that, we'll be taking a short break, but when we return, we find out what you should look out for when buying a used Audi TT.
And we go shopping for a Toyota RAV4. Welcome back to Buyer's Guide. Johan's mum currently drives a 2017 Toyota RAV4 2-litre GX Auto. The car has only done 47,000 kilometers since she bought it new and is covered by an extended warranty until 2024. Johan says the RAV has proven to be comfortable and reliable, if not terribly economical, but his mum has always dreamt of owning an Audi TT. His mum is 53 years old and he'd like to know if now would be a good time for her to enjoy her dream car. And when the time comes for her to buy a last car in about 10 years or so, she can get into something sensible again. Because the TT isn't very practical, Johan is thinking of getting a second smaller car to use as a runabout. The budget is 500,000 Rand for the TT and 200,000 Rand for the second car. What are our thoughts on this plan and are there any alternatives they can consider? Firstly, guys, I know I ain't getting rid of no RAV4.
Yeah.
Not with that low mileage and all that. But if it's her dream car, Obi?
You're 100% right. That RAV4 is the best car you can ever have at that age. But on the other side of the token, let mom live a little. She's probably never owned a sports car before, so I would say trade in the RAV4. She says 280, but I reckon about 260, 270 is what you'll get. And take the 200, because it's paid off, if I'm not mistaken. take the 200, go buy a small car, take the 80, go finance a newer TT and pay about six and a half grand a month, put the 80 down as a deposit, drive it for 5 years, and after that, get back to a sensible car again. But then she's lived. So that's what I would say to her. Go
Then
live a
she
little.
ain't getting into a RAV4 at whatever money at that time when she wants to get back into a sensible car.
True, but she would have lived a bit, you know. 2016, 2-liter TT, I think she can pick one up, good mileage, and I think, yeah, she'll be happy with that.
Thomas, what's your feeling on that?
I don't know. Hey, I think sports cars are overrated. I'd say just keep the RAV. It's you know, it's paid off. It's reliable. It's going to last forever.
It's got 47,000 kilometers.
Exactly.
It'll last her. It can be
It's
a
a
very
great
last
car.
car.
I think that the Audi TT is going to it's going to depreciate. It's got the potential to give a lot of issues.
Yes.
Because she wants the auto, which as we know is the S-tronic, which as we know is like the DSG,
Well, it's the
which
same
we
thing.
love to hate on the show. Endless
It's Audi's way of
problems.
disguising the word DSG. They call it
Yeah,
S-tronic.
it's stepped on it.
Exactly, you know. So I don't know. Maybe just hire TT for a weekend and just get it out. Your
Let her
system.
live, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and then you can hand it back at the end of the thing. And I don't know. I mean, to me, it just seems like a lot of money. You're giving away a great car that's paid off, and you're getting into debt. You know, in this current climate, to finance a sports car, I don't know.
Guys, she said she wants to live. It's been a dream car from when she was little.
Take multivitamins, that'll be giving you know what, really, I would not.
And there's Audi, a 2-liter. You know how much trouble with the 2-liter engine?
Yeah.
I'm with you, Thomas. Stay away from the Audi
Yes.
TT because
Yeah.
the problem is it's a very expensive car to run.
It is.
And when
Things
they
go wrong,
when they do go, let me just say, when they go wrong, because not
Yeah.
if, when they go wrong, they've got a lot of common problems with them. You got a RAV4, which, as Obi says, is like bulletproof, reliable to the end. It'll just go and go. You'll do 400,000 Ks in a car. Rather keep that car and take Thomas's advice. Go and hire a sports car if you can. Drive it around for the weekend. That's fun. And then, because I can promise you, after a month of doing that change, you're going to say, what was I thinking?
Thinking, yes.
once the afterglow is
Okay, you
like,
know,
that's
yeah.
it.
Obi,
Yeah.
you're saying she's 53 and she wants to live a little. Have you seen how hard it is for me at 43 to get in and out of a sports car?
At
Yeah.
43.
Yeah, he's had a hard life. Yeah.
Even 10 years ago, it was
Hey?
hard. I remember going on car launches with you. There was heaving and cramming in like a shoehorn. You had
And
to, like-
rolling out of the car.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's, you know, and the thing is also, if you're going to find another TT that's good and reliable, they've all been hammered. So
Yeah.
don't do that. Rather just keep that RAV4 and move on. Find yourself a boyfriend with a
I
sports
tried.
car or something.
I tried, Mom. I tried.
Right, moving on. Witness is a first-time buyer and he's looking for a reliable, fuel-efficient vehicle that can take him from A to B, which will be doing relatively low kilometers annually. He's got a budget of between 100 and 150,000 Rand, and he's spotted a few Toyota RunXs that seem to be like good options. 2 1.4 models and 2 1.6 models between 65 and 100,000 Rand. Would either of these be a good buy, he asks. He adds that he's open to other alternatives. So 100 to 150,000 Rand. Obi, let's start with you. RunX,
They were good cars.
Yeah.
They are good cars, but were being the operative word. You need to look at something newer. You know, in that price bracket of 100, 150,000, you know, I had in mind a Suzuki Swift. I had a Mazda 3, which are like a 2013 or 2012, somewhere there. But when you're looking at a car 2007, 2003, I really think, you know, it's old technology. It's an old car. It's high risk as well in terms of theft. You know, I wouldn't look at that. Like I said, Mazda 3 or a Suzuki Swift.
yeah, great options there. Thomas, you got something else you'd throw in there?
Yeah, I'll throw in the Volkswagen Up. Always been a big fan of that car.
Yeah.
Really, you know, it's small, but it feels premium. It feels like it's a class up.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of standard
It's like a class up.
equipment in it. A class up, exactly. Yeah, I would put my money into that.
Yeah.
You know, I think if he
I think
wants
it's
to
a great
stay with the Toyota brand, he could look at a Quest. He could get a nice
Yeah.
Quest in that, a later model Quest.
Could get a Quest. He could get the previous generation, the Igo.
Yes.
Also a pretty good car.
Yep. You could get any of those if he wants to stay with the Toyota brand.
Yeah, if
And
he wants
I
it,
have to
yeah.
agree with Obi. You're not going to look at 2003, 2005 model at those numbers.
Yeah.
They're going to be ropey and probably, like.
And the problem is
questionable
if people say, oh, this one's got low mileage, it's hardly been driven.
Yeah.
No, it's gone back to the fountain of youth, somebody's turned back the mileage. Because
Exactly.
there's a lot of those around.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I sold one recently, it had 260,000
Give it a
Ks on
haircut.
No, I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't have any hair to give haircuts. 260,000 Ks on the car. Look, it still run well, but that's a 50, 60,000 Rand car.
Yeah, not 150.
No.
Yeah, so 150, you buy something that's got a lot more, modern safety features in it. It's, it's not at the end of its
younger.
life cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find one like a Suzuki Swift for 150 grand. You're going to find one with under 100,000 kilometers on it.
But he should not look at any of these Run-Xs.
No.
None of these
it's just
Run-Xs he should look at. Just stay away.
going to be ropey and
Yeah.
old and.
I know what happens here. You get somebody who 10 years ago looked at that car and, oh, this is a cool car. One day when I can afford the car, I'll go and buy one. And they still want that car. But now it's just got old, it's got worn out, it's just tired. There's so many better options to buy in that range. Even a Ford Focus 1600.
Yes, yes.
Just the basic 1600 Focus if you want something a little bit bigger. Low risk, very reliable, go for a long time, great cars. It's also something else to have a look at.
Okay, before Adam gets carried away. Don't go away, because after the break, we discuss gearbox maintenance on a 12-year-old Honda Accord.
And we look at ways in which you can maintain a premium vehicle without breaking your bank balance. Thank you for tuning into Buyer's Guide. Hugh owns a 2010 Honda Accord 2.4 Auto, which he says he loves. He bought the car on auction 3 years ago, and because the service history is incomplete, there's no record of the transmission fluid ever being changed. The car's done 241,000 Ks and drives like a dream. So Hugh would like to know if there's any benefit to be had from changing the gearbox fluid, or should he just leave it alone? Any of you guys want to throw it in, or are you going to leave it up to me?
No, we're not leaving it up to you.
No.
No.
Firstly, my two concerns: auction and what's the other one?
Incomplete service.
Incomplete service history.
Yeah, but he says he's had no problems with it. I mean, it's a Honda, they don't give trouble.
You see, for the fact that it's incomplete, I personally would get that oil checked or changed, or because he's got no history. He doesn't know what happened from when he bought the vehicle and to the previous owner. So, my advice: go out there, get it changed, and you can go another 100,000 Ks.
Yeah, look, that's exactly what I was going to say. Because you want to maintain these, and if memory serves me correct, Honda recommend every 60,000 replacement of the gearbox oil. So go ahead and do it. I mean, I know it's working fine now, but if you leave it in there, the oil is going to deteriorate. It's going to lose its protective properties. Oil is hygroscopic, it absorbs water, and that creates problems, particles of rust form and so forth. So just drain the oil. It's most probably going to cost you $2,000 for the proper gearbox oil that you go in there. You can buy cheap gearbox oil, but these new modern day cars take what they call a Dextron 6 oil. It's a high quality synthetic oil that's designed for the modern gearboxes. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, you can go to Honda and go buy it, or you can go to any reputable oil supplier and get yourself a good Dextron 6 oil and replace it yourself. It's fairly simple. Do it every 60,000 kilometers and you'll do another 240,000 kilometers on that car without a problem.
Should we change the filter?
Well, the filter becomes a bit of a problem in them because if I
They're
remember,
built in,
it's
right
built
inside,
in.
yeah.
But changing the oil, most definitely. And that doesn't only apply to this particular question. It applies to everybody's got automatic gearboxes. Have those gearbox oils replaced. Honestly, I believe that workshops nowadays do not change them enough. And
what you raise is a very valid point.
Yeah.
They don't
Okay.
change them enough.
Yeah.
But when you, I'm using this as an example. When the BMW first came out, they were told it's lifelong oil.
Lots of cars have that.
You don't have to change the oil. I never heard of something like that in my life.
No such thing.
No such thing.
No such thing.
No
Everything
such
has
thing.
a lifespan.
Yes.
And everything degrades.
Yes,
Yeah, 100%.
especially with oil running at those
Yeah.
temperatures.
You got this
And
constant
Adam,
heat
you
cycle.
spot on. Oil
Most-
running must change.
most
And I remember on the old Mercedes, it was 60,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
You change the oil and filter irrespective. Those vehicles almost never had gearbox problems.
It's cheap insurance.
100%. And
Yes.
Change your fluids, change your oils, especially if you're buying a used car.
Yeah.
Take it away to your mechanic, change everything.
Definitely.
You know?
So the answer to the question is yes,
Yes.
change the gearbox oils. Will it do any damage? Absolutely not. If anything, it's just going to help. And often I know in my workshop when we change gearbox oils on people's cars, and some of them come in maybe the first time is 150, 60,000 kilometers they're doing it, they often comment, the gear change is a lot more smoother,
yes.
and it does feel a lot better. So well worthwhile spending that money on the car.
And finally, here's a question from Nasiba, and it also relates to maintenance. He's recently bought a 2015 Jaguar XF 2.2 diesel luxury from a big used car dealer in Pretoria North. The car at the time had 85,686 kilometers on the clock when he collected it on 19th of August, and recently he spent 5,000 Rand to have the rear brakes repaired. He's considering buying a service plan in addition to the 2-year mechanical warranty he already has for the car. Alternatively, he's thinking of trading in the Jaguar early in 2023 before the next service. Now that's wise, which is in August, for another spacious sedan around the 250,000 Rand mark. Guys, is that a good option?
I'd go trade him.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I know what Obi's going to say. Obi, what are you going to say?
Exactly what I'm going to say now. He's just had this car for a year. He hasn't even paid interest on this vehicle, so he's going to struggle to get out of it. That's number one. And it's not a very popular car in terms of
Resale value.
a resale value. For me, get an extension on service plan, but it probably won't be the manufacturer's service plan. It'll probably be an aftermarket plan that you'll have to get to cover these big costs of brake pads and so forth. So I would say keep the car, get an extended plan, because there's no way that you're going to be able to get out of it in January, because you've just recently had it for about a year.
You're going to lose. He's worried about the maintenance costs, but he's going to lose a hell of a lot in terms of his resale value and what he still owes the bank.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam, go ahead.
Those things are good, reliable cars. They actually don't give too much problem. Obviously, going to the main dealer, you're going to pay more for things like brakes and discs, because obviously you have the brake pads and discs replaced. In terms of maintenance costs, in terms of doing getting a service warranty, I wouldn't do that, because those service warranties only cover the basics: your air filter, your oil filter, and a fan belt maybe. Now you need brakes. Oh, that's not covered because we don't cover friction materials. And trust me, when they sell you those policies, they're making money out of them. Rather, keep the money in your bank and find a really good, reputable aftermarket workshop, have those components repaired and serviced aftermarket. Your cost savings will be most probably 30 to 40% of what a main dealer would cost you, and you wouldn't have to worry about the aftermarket service plans. Don't go with the aftermarket service plans. I've always found them, whenever we get clients into our workshop and I've got this aftermarket service, you phone up to get authorization. Oh, we're not paying for that because it's not due. But we're telling you it's due. It needs to be replaced. It's dirty. No, it's not covered in this. And it ends up being a big fight. So rather, don't buy the policies and just go along and service it yourself, maintain the car, and you'll get long life out of the vehicle.
Okay, what he said.
What he said, same thing.
Okay, what he said.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Find yourself an after. This pricing was done at a dealer.
Yeah.
This was a dealer pricing.
Yeah.
And that's why he's finding it a problem now.
Yeah, just
and
go aftermarket.
like Obi says, he's not going to get out of it.
Yeah.
So keep the car. You liked it when you purchased it.
Yeah. And they're good cars.
And just
They're
listen
not
to
a
what
problem.
Adam just said.
There's
Yeah,
many
absolutely.
alternatives. And again, this applies to
Not just this car.
not just Jaguar,
Yeah.
but across the board. Okay, and with that, unfortunately, we've come to the end of this week's episode. Thomas and Obi, guys, thank you once again for all your informative information that you give our viewers. Always welcome, guys. Thank you very much.
And this time we'll definitely invite you back, Thomas. Well, next time.
Right, guys. Thank you very much.
Until next time, remember, check those tire pressures and let's keep it safe on the roads.